It's the start of a new era here in New York as James McIntosh has taken over these Giants, hired Brian Daboll to be the offensive coordinator, and we are here in week 1, finally kicking off this franchise. We got to go ahead and assign scouts. That's actually, I guess, a week 1 thing now. I haven't actually played since the Raiders franchise. I haven't even touched Madden in a whole year now. So really, when we look at this team and what this team needs, we really could use a player at every position. I'm not probably going to draft quarterback unless the perfect opportunity falls to us. I'd rather address that in free agency, try to ride out Jaxson Dart for a year or two. I just don't think it's realistic to draft another quarterback a year after drafting this one. Running back is definitely an area where we could improve. I don't think Cam Scadaboo is the future. Wide receiver, you could always use another Malik Nabers Robin to his Batman. Wan'Dale Robinson's really good, but he's really your next best player here outside of Darius Slayton, who's aging. Tight end is certainly a position we can improve. The entire offensive line other than Andrew Thomas could use an upgrade. And it looks like current #1 projected players here, we have Tyrone Broyles outside of these first 2 edge rushers, Connor Perkins and Max Anderson. But Tyrone Broyles out of Oklahoma State, take a look at him. Strong arm quarterback, 6'2", 233. Of course, we don't know anything about him yet. None of his athleticism or his skills, but looks like he is projected to go in the top 5. Wide receiver, I don't even see projected here until all the way down at 10th, which is definitely within the range of something we could be drafting. Maybe somebody like Mark Matias ends up being one of the next star wide receivers in this league. If we can grab him there, that wouldn't be bad. Tight end also is not a bad idea. Probably would be more of a second round target for me. And the fact that most of these first few picks are defensive tackle and edge rushing makes me think that it might be a position for me to trade out of if we're in the top 10. Now, ideally, we don't draft inside the top 10 anyway because we're actually playing really well. But, you know, maybe later on we find ourselves drafting the Shedeur Sanders replacement in Preston Carl here. So there's a lot of options for us according to this first draft class, but I'll go ahead and set up the scouts. And I finally have assigned my scouts across the region. So nationally, we have Johnny Rose, 3-star scout. Wide receivers and tight ends are focus groups here. Wide receiver is a strength this year. Actually, I would say even tight end is, even though it's not listed there. So I think this is a really good chance to just get general knowledge on all the wide receivers and tight ends. In the West, we also have wide receiver and tight end. Again, the West was really strong in these 2 positions, and it was not strong in anything else, essentially. It'll say left edge and defensive tackle. Obviously, those aren't areas of need for us. And offensively, there were not a lot of pickings to go from. Central, we have wide receiver, quarterback. So I do want to keep an eye on quarterback. I even have a 2-star scout assigned to this because if there is the best quarterback available, you can't pass up on Jaxson Dart. I'm sorry, but we'll probably have to do that. Wide receiver is still something I want to focus in this region because it was really strong here as well. Northeast was the first one where I went against the grain a little bit and did offensive line. I think this could be a good place to find some. So we have 1 left tackle in the first round, 1 left guard in the first round, and then a 3rd rounder, and then another 1st rounder right tackle. So this could be, there's just not a lot of options here. This is probably one of the better places to find someone. And then in the Southeast, again, wide receiver and running back this time. I do want to find running backs. The Southeast was the only region that I thought really was of anything of note. You can actually look and see here: Alabama, Auburn, South Alabama, Mississippi State, Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, you can forget that one, but Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Charleston Southern. I don't think that counts, but essentially all but 2 of the running backs in this draft class are from the Southeast. So we should be at pretty good data on them. Looking at the coach development, I do want to go ahead and upgrade the practitioner cornerback development ability. With how many star cornerbacks we have on the roster, it just makes too much sense to go ahead and get this up a tier. So now cornerback training XP is increased by 15%. And then focus training. So I am going to have everybody do full pads on this first drill. I think everybody should be fairly healthy. I am of half a mind to have Jaxson Dart be a focus player as well. Just the fact that he is 22, I mean, there's definitely a chance that he could still develop here in this series. I think you bump Cam Scadaboo. I don't think Cam Scadaboo is the future. I don't think Jaxson Dart's the future, but we're going to try it and we're going to see what happens. On defense, Bobby Okereke is out with a shoulder strain. That is very unfortunate. His wear and tear is at a minimum. Why is wear and tear already down to 0 for these players? Looks like we have a heavy rain game here in DC. Commanders, Giants, Likely 88. I didn't even realize Isaiah Likely was on Washington. Did he get traded in this series, or is he on Washington in real life? Yeah, so Isaiah Likely must have gotten traded in game, because in real life he's still on the Ravens. Commanders were 12-5 last season, and today we'll see if they can start their season off strong. Of course, we want to start our season off strong, having a really bad year last year. I think it is 3rd and 7, so I am going to go and cover 3 here. Jalen Daniels forced out of the pocket, and he will run this one easily for a first down, and then some. Down to the 13. Jalen Daniels. Will he have that sophomore slump this year? I don't expect it at all. That model looks really good for him. Now 1st and 10 at the 13. One thing for sure, it can be a little tough to gauge what plays to call when I'm jumping around in key moments. So I don't know how often I'll do key moments, as they run a read option with Jaden Daniels. Slides down instantly. Heavy rain. I'm not sure what this will affect. Doesn't look actually that bad. So you'll see my strategy. It's very similar to my USA Dynasty. We're going to be running lots of cover 3 here. Lots of zone. Definitely want to have my players have zone archetypes especially. And then eventually what I would like to have is a safety who I can bring down into the box to play more of that havoc style. Austin Eckler down inside the 3, and this is not a drive that's going well. I'll actually run this one out. I'm a little worried about an outside zone run here. And I was right, in a way. Power for Jaden Daniels. Washington scores first touchdown of the game. No sophomore slump on that drive. We've got Tyrone Tracy Jr. in the backfield, bringing Darius Slayton in motion. We're in a zone look here. Handoff Tyrone Tracy up the middle, cuts inside. Stiff arming his way down to the 6-yard line, and Tyrone Tracy's 4 for 34 so far in the game. Got Darius Slayton in the slot. We're checking. Took it to handoff here. Tyrone Tracy not going to get much, maybe 3. This is going to be hitting triangle. And Tyrone Tracy's into the end zone. First Giants score of the game. And he felt really impactful on that first drive. I know he is our highest rated running back. Looks like we have another red zone opportunity. And I do want to try to run some out of the I form. I don't know how well this will work. But we have Cam Scattaboo playing fullback. So you can see he's in the game right now. Running this to the strong side. I think I still like our odds here. Pitch out, Scattaboo lead block. Tyrone Tracy gets the edge and gets down inside the 3 once again. Really excellent stuff from the Giants offensive line. Cam Scattaboo leading the way. The double team on the linebacker here. Follow Scattaboo up the middle, and that's into the end zone. 2nd touchdown of the game. This time it's actually going to Devin Singletary, who came in relief of Tyrone Tracy. Another red zone alert here with 2 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Let me know how I'm doing with the live commentary. It really is something that I'm not used to. It's going to take a little bit of learning. I think we're going to run down here in the red zone. Tyrone Tracy's been just excellent today. Give him a chance. He gets it into the end zone again. Tyrone Tracy, dominant running. Really good offensive line play. And in the rain, I just don't want to put the ball in the air. Nabers on the outside, one-on-one. Does look like they're in press man. And I'm going to give Nabers the one-on-one shot with Marshawn Lattimore. And he's got it. Down to the 2. I didn't even know if he caught that or not. Malik Nabers wins the route. Lattimore old and washed. Just a jump ball. Nabers gets behind him. Just a little inch of separation from Malik Nabers. You're definitely putting the ball up in his breadbasket for that. Got Cam Scattaboo back for the lead block. And we run it in once again. Tyrone Tracy just unstoppable behind this offensive line, and Cam Scattaboo. Fantastic stuff here from the 2nd-year running back. I think you run this for sure with 3rd and 8, 2 minutes left in the game, up 14. Gonna kick a field goal anyway, so we'll go ahead and run this. Let's Stretch out. Not my best run. Definitely ran right into contact on that one. Injury timeout on the play. So fortunate for Washington. Maybe potentially told him to go down there. Maybe some foul play. And everything in Madden just looks so bulky compared to college football. Kick is up. I missed it. Just like college football, man. Some things never change. I'm going to blame that one on the rain. Graham Cano pulling that right. Sheesh. It does not matter, however. 4th and 3. This game is over after this play. It does not matter what happens here. We're going to try to stop them from getting a touchdown, however. Jaden Daniels takes off and runs with it. And doesn't even get to the pylons as the New York Giants win their opening game of the season. James McIntosh starting off his NFL coaching career 1-0. Brian Dable, offensive coordinator, dialed up a masterpiece with 35 points. I think it's safe to say Russ managed the game effectively. Tyrone Tracy ran the ball well. Let's take a look at those stats. Russ, 18 for 25, 255 yards, 72% completion percentage, 2 tutties, 0 interceptions. Jaden Daniels against our defense, less than 250, sub 60%, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, sophomore slump. On offense on the ground, 6.8 a carry for Tyrone Tracy, only carried it 10 times. I wouldn't have called it that way personally in the rain, but I think it didn't matter. It worked really well for him. Jaden Daniels did definitely gash us up a little bit. Devin Singletary not as impressive, and then Cam Scattaboo, only 2 runs, only 2 yards. And then receiving, I didn't know Noah Brown was on the Commanders actually. Deebo Samuels, but Malik Nabers, Theo Johnson coming in with 4 catches for 84 yards, the tight end. Love to see that from the 6'6", 264-pound beast. And then Darius Slayton, 67 yards and a touchdown. Then it looks like on defense, Stephon Gilmore with the most tackles in the game. Love to see that from the veteran. Von Miller's on the Commanders. I did not know that either. That's awesome. Sacks 1.5 for Brian Burns. Half sack for Kayvon Thibodeau. So Abdul Carter still not getting his first sack of his career. And then an interception for Cordell Flott and Drew Phillips. Great stuff from those guys. Welcome to Jerry World. We're here in AT&T Stadium taking on the Cowboys. Will be my first full live commentary game on this channel pretty much ever. Definitely since playing the MLB games on live stream. As out comes CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys. And they expect to have probably a pretty mediocre season. Better than us for sure. But I think not expected to be top of the division. Of course, we're not expected to be even 3rd in the division, of course. Expected to be 4th. And I think that's probably going to hold true here. And I'm going to get things started off a similar fashion to last game. 2 tight end setup. Tyrone Tracy runs. He was really effective, and he's going to be so on this first play of the game. Cuts it outside. Trayvon Diggs comes from the side to bring him down. Otherwise, that was 6 on the very first play of the game. Now 1st and 10 at the 50. Going to try a counter. I haven't been a... Okay, that was bad running on my part. I haven't been a huge fan of the counters in CFB 26 so far. They don't feel like they work. But that one, definitely my own fault. We're going to stay in this 2 tight end setup. We're going to try to run a play action from under center. I want to see Malik Nabers on this dig route. Ooh. And Russell Wilson finds him on the dig. I thought I was going to get sacked there. I think that was Marshawn Nealon that didn't fall for it whatsoever. The one thing about having a player on the outside that can run block as well as Amon-Ra. Nabers coming on a drag. This is going to be out. Oh, and Wilson sacked. Cole Holcomb with the sack. Never even saw him coming there. Didn't have a great check down anyway. So now 3rd and 18. We're keeping the 2 tight ends set up on the field. Probably a waste considering they know we're going to pass it. And sacked again. Just didn't see anything I wanted open down the field. Out comes Dakota Rain Prescott. Last season, of course, didn't really get a chance to play the game. This season, I think he has a chance to be something special. Dak going to check this one down. And George Pickens, welcome to Dallas. Inches shy of a 1st down. It's a handoff. Miles Sanders no way this game says he's better than Javonte Williams. But Miles Sanders getting a pretty good carry on his first touch of the game. Definitely don't expect to play the entire game, even though we're not going to be doing any more key moments, at least, in this episode. And Golston can't get off the blocks. Ferguson with the catch down the field. I saw Brian Burns got manhandled, it looked like, by Tyler Guyton. Yeah, it seems Sanders is actually the starting running back for the Cowboys. And that's going to be McFadden bringing him down. Nice play. Can't get to Dak. He's going to throw this one away. And intercepted. Paulson Adebo. Well, one of our play sheet abilities, or maybe it was just our coach abilities, is we can't go 3 games consecutively without an interception. And we just got an interception. So we've staved off that one. I think we were up to 1 game after last week. And Paulson Adebo, I don't know what Dak was like throwing it away, trying to throw a jump ball. Maybe CD and him were off page a little bit. I want to hit a play action counter on first down. I might want to try the over the top. The Cowboys are notoriously bad at deep zone in real life. I want to see if I can replicate something like that here. And I see Darius Slayton now. He's gonna... Ooh, yeah. Ron Bland came over in coverage on that one. I thought Darius Slayton had his man beat, and he did. I was not expecting for Ron Bland to be able to come over and help out so easily. Alright, well, that's not working so well for us, so let's get out of the under center looks here and try to start getting some easy passes in. This is going to be a throw out to Wandale on the RPO. And now we can try to run the ball out of the gun. See how that goes. The Cowboys do look to stack the box here. But Tyrone Tracy, really great running from him. That's going to be a 1st and 10. And this isn't actually the first time I've tried this year to do live commentary. Actually, in my South Alabama Dynasty, I tried to do live commentary. And it just wasn't working for me. I wasn't figuring out a good way to keep my commentary and my thoughts flowing between plays. But so far, I'm actually having a lot of fun doing it this way. It's not that bad. And we're going to stay in this formation. We got Jalen Hyatt in the game. Going to find him kind of using the go route on the outside to pull the zone corner off a bit. And then Hyatt's wide open because that man was supposed to be his responsibility. Now, we also might want to see if we can get Cam Scattaboo some more touches. Really, he hasn't had any so far. Could be a good time to run stick. Of course, I noticed Malik Nabers not in the game. I don't feel super comfortable about that. We're going to find Jalen Hyatt, and he can't hang on. Now, 4th and 4 at the 39. Coach suggestion is to punt. There's no way that can be our suggestion here, right? The 56-yard field goal? Graham Gano can't hit this? Oh, and it's blocked! The Cowboys recover! No kidding! So at the time of recording this, last Sunday, actually the football games we had played, I watched the Eagles block 2 kicks of the Rams, and then I watched the Bucks get their field goal kick blocked and almost lose the game. They ended up winning the game still, but 1st and 10, Scattaboo in the game. What can Scattaboo do? Some heavy running there, and I don't know how to truck with him, so I'll have to figure that out. I don't love the idea of running right at Kenny Clark. My only thought is maybe you can take him out of the game, and no, he's still a problem. I kind of want to try to hit a play action, maybe to Wandale. It looks like they're in man, and Trayvon Diggs definitely blocked Malik Nabers, but they're not going to throw a flag on that. I kind of just want to see what I can do with a hard count. Ball start. Oh, no, that's going to be encroachment. So we're going to get the free 1st down off that. Tyrone Tracy checking back into the game. We have a very unbalanced front to the right. We're going to follow that. And didn't follow it very well. I should have bounced that out further. So 3rd and 8. Obviously, my main focus here is to hit Malik Nabers. And instead, I'm going to throw a pick. Threw that one underneath. And Kendricks will run this all the way down to the 1. Yeah. I just didn't see Eric Kendricks there at all. It's 1st and goal from the 1. Not expecting much from this. Oh, and I totally missed Miles Sanders. And that's a touchdown. Had him dead for rights in the backfield, and instead he scores. Not a great game for my user abilities. So we jump to the 3rd quarter, and things aren't going much better. Still losing this pretty hard. Now, I do want to try running some maybe RPO, maybe some read option. Russ, not the athlete that Jaxson Dart is, but he's still got some gas in the tank. Keeper, and Eric Kendricks makes another play. He's been dynamic so far in this game. Really impressed with what I've seen from him. If this game starts getting too ugly, I might just look to check in. That's an underneath to Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton getting a block from Tyrone Tracy. Should have cut inside off of it. I might look to check in Jaxson Dart. I'm very much not opposed to that. Not mind hitting Wan'Dale Robinson here. Now, this is going to be zone. Doesn't matter. Wan'Dale wide open. Spinning inside, breaking the tackle of Donovan Wilson. And brought down by Deron Bland. Now I kind of want to take this one to the end zone with either Johnson or Malik Nabers. And that's going to be Malik Nabers. Throw is just out the back of the end zone. He was so open, but Russ misses him. And I had the right idea. Just couldn't find him. Still keeping Tyrone Tracy in the game mostly. And I can't escape pressure. Tyrone Tracy breaking wide open might have been 6. And instead, Marshawn Nealand with the sack. Now we're running an RPO read bubble. So we're reading 13 there. Is that Dante Fowler? And yeah, I don't see how the read was correct. Fowler cut inside. And this is going to miss. No, that'll stay just inside. Graham Gano finally making a field goal. All right, and this could be Russ's last drive of the game. If this doesn't go well and the Cowboys then score, I think there's a good chance that we see him come out of the game. So now 3rd down and 8. I'm just not super impressed with what I'm seeing. Gonna hit Malik Nabers on this. Nabers down to the 34. It's only a 17-point game, so I'm not opposed to continuing to run the ball. We just have to find success with it. We haven't so far. Tyrone Tracy, really nice run. Good blocking just to keep him at a hole there. And I think here you might as well go for it. But Derek Francois was slow as dirt. Now, he was very solid at what he set out to do. But that doesn't end up mattering much. As that throw, I don't even know who that was to. Nowhere near Jalen Hyatt on the route he ran. And Donovan Wilson picks it off. That's going to probably end the game for Russell Wilson. So we'll bring in Jaxson Dart, but first we got to get through this defense. Pitch out Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders gets a block, and Miles Sanders has a free lane on the first play of this drive to the end zone. Washed Miles Sanders. I am sick with what I'm seeing from the Giants in game 2. I thought after game 1 against the Commanders, we really had a solid chance. But this is just sad. Well, the good news is we'll get to see Jaxson Dart's first NFL drive. Play 1's going to be a screen pass to Cam Scattaboo. Cuts it inside. Doesn't have the speed or shiftiness to really make much out of that one. Down 24 points. One's definitely going to be to Malik Nabers. And Dart cannot find him. A tough pass to make, but you got to make that in the NFL, buddy. Jaxson Dart. Slayton on the outside. I think this is going to be one-on-one. I wouldn't mind testing this. Deron Bland, and he brings him down. Doesn't let him catch that ball. Testing one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL, unfortunately. Score is now 34-3. This game is a stomp. The Cowboys won their first division game against the Eagles, probably against the expected NFC East champions. Second game, they're going to rout us. So a really, really good start for the Cowboys here. And I'm going to audible out of this. I don't like this at all. We got Malik Nabers and Darius Slayton. This looks like man-on-man coverage. And Diggs switches off of Nabers. Slayton makes the catch and is down to the 5. First big play of Jaxson Dart's career is a pretty good throw down the field to Darius Slayton. Had Trayvon Diggs one-on-one. Diggs a little washed at this stage of his career. Now the box a little less stacked, even though we're in the red zone. And we're looking to read Dante Fowler. It's a keeper. And Jaxson Dart's going to run it into the end zone for his first touchdown. Dart, what is this dance? What is he doing? We got to work on your celebrations, my friend. Dart playing Simon Says with the linemen. And Jaxson Dart, welcome to the NFL. This is going to be the last drive of the offense. One more drive with Jaxson Dart and co. Another keeper. And nice running to the outside. Actually breaks off of Deron Bland's tackle. If Malik Nabers holds that block, maybe Dart runs that in for 6. Really wouldn't mind trying to find Scattaboo. And that's exactly what we do on second down. Now 3rd and 1. Going to try and give Scattaboo some help up front. We're going to run this away from Kenny Clark. My goal is to stay away from him as much as possible. And the game might already be over, but it's something we'll carry into our next game against the Cowboys. This throw out to Manhurts, and he's going to come down with it at the 4-yard line. Can Jaxson Dart get 2 touchdowns in his NFL debut? And that one's out. And it's caught. Wan'Dale Robinson with the touchdown. And the Giants will at least come out of this with potentially a moral victory. Did we see enough to start Jaxson Dart in Game 3? Really nice touch pass from Dart. Really good. Just feel for the throw. Donovan Wilson, not a very good coverage safety. And Wan'Dale Robinson wins that easy. And the Cowboys are winners of Game 2 of this season. A 20-point victory, 37 points, almost as much as they put up in real life. I believe that was over 40 even. I can't remember for sure. Of course, the difference being in real life, the Giants actually were able to keep up and score. No such luck for us here. Miles Sanders with that insane run. That first drive, not great on defense. And just on offense, not much going in the first half. Now, signs of life when Jaxson Dart came in. Some decent throws and some good speed. We'll have to see what happens in week 3. Wan'Dale Robinson gets a point. And at this stage, with Wan'Dale Robinson's development, I just think route running would be the best thing he can get. He's pretty much relegated to a permanent slot role. I just don't see release at 59 getting up high enough to play on the outside. So we're going to give him a slot upgrade and see if we can get medium route running. And we do. We get +1 medium route, +5 release for a slot upgrade. That doesn't even make sense. Now, week 3 against the Chiefs, we will be simming. I don't think that this is one I would win. And I'm going to sim some games in the season, and I think that's alright. But we do have some important things to note here, starting with week 3. We have the ability to negotiate with all the contracts that are up, as well as regional focus scouting. I don't actually plan to negotiate with any contracts today, but I do have interest in re-signing some of these players. Wan'Dale Robinson definitely being someone I would be interested in bringing back. The only issue with him, re-sign interest at 0. What are the chances we can bring him back? How about Cordale Flott? He wants a pretty high amount of money for someone who I don't think we can bring back at that re-sign interest. Asante Samuel Jr., not much interest in coming back. Micah McFadden definitely could, and I don't think that would be a bad negotiation. But most of these players not super interested in coming back to the Giants. And most of these players I'm not super interested in bringing back, so that's okay. It just limits what we can do a little bit. And then last of all, Deonte Banks, we do have the player option for. That would be a $12.5 million option. I do not know if I'm going to accept that, to be quite honest. Now, I am going to be setting this to what makes the most sense for each of these players. Wide receiver, probably what I'd want to focus most on in the central region. Offensive tackle, definitely what I want to focus on most. I think we need better offensive lineman help. And then running back. The only reason I don't choose quarterback out of the central division is because I don't know for a fact that I'm going to draft someone, even if I like one of the options we have. We advanced the week and the Giants did lose their game. Let's take one last look at that before we get off for this episode. 17-24, so actually better than probably what I would have done. The Chiefs pretty much dominated on offense. Patrick Mahomes, only 170 yards, 2 touchdowns on 81% completion percentage, so not asked to do very much. Russell Wilson just not getting it done. I think this may be the nail in the coffin for Russell Wilson, and we put Jaxson Dart in. Russell Wilson also a mentor, so that's important to note. Isaiah Pacheco, 100 yards on 7 yards a carry. Not much going on for Giants running backs, as Scattaboo doesn't even get a carry, neither does Devin Singletary. That doesn't even make sense. And then receiving, Darius Slayton did alright, but nothing from Malik Nabers of note. And on defense, pretty much not much going on, honestly. Chauncey Golston with 2 sacks, that's pretty impressive. 1 sack for Dexter Lawrence. No interceptions. No, Trent McDuffie gets an interception. And that is where we leave it after the 3rd week of the NFL season. The Giants currently 1-2, actually tied for 2nd in the division though. So the Cowboys 3-0, but everybody else struggling. We actually have a chance to maybe still compete in this division. I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet, but I will do one thing before episode 3. And that is name Jaxson Dart, the new starter. He will be leading us onto the field for our week 4 game. The Giants take on the Chargers and Justin Herbert and Madison Beer in week 4, episode 3. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you next time. Have a good day.